Welcome to Polymuse Season 2.
Boom.
I'm Michael. This is the Cuz.
What's up? My name is Ben.
We are covering System of a Down's self-titled album.
Debut album, track by track, song by song. Today we've got track 3, Sugar. Whole episode about Sugar. We got the new version of Polymuse here, our Season 2. We're doing each individual song per episode, or a couple songs per episode. We're going to play the music, the actual stuff we're reviewing. Maybe even play a couple other tracks along the way, possibly. It's music reviews. It's music reviews from your trusted source of musical opinions. The two, we grew up together, we're cousins, traded music back and forth, and we just cover the music that changed our lives. We're making our Desert Island mixtape collection for System of a Down. If you had one disc's worth of System of a Down songs, which would you pick? We're going to rank the songs that do better than an A, better than an A+. They become an S-ranked song and go on the mixtape. We only got 14 S's to pass out for the whole season. That is the format of the show. We're going to hit you with this one pretty quick here. Let's give some background information. The single release, the debut single by the band System of a Down. What do you know about this?
Right.
Let's kick it to my boy, Michael.
Yeah.
The brains of the operation.
Oh, my goodness.
He knows the data, the subject matter, the charts. He's got spreadsheets, folks. This man brought spreadsheets into the studio, and he's going to hit you with that data. Then I'm going to hit you with that sugar.
That attitude.
That splatter of sugar.
So Sugar was released as a single May 24th, 1998, a month before System of a Down's first debut album came out.
Right.
So this would have been the very, very first song, if you were right on the ball, that you would have listened to. It peaked at number 31 in the U.S. Alt, on the U.S. Alt chart, and number 28 at the U.S. Main Rock. This album did go platinum, by the way. Not until Toxicity came out later, and folks were going back and checking out the album here, as it did chart. It topped out at, I believe, 124th on the Billboard Top 200 chart, which is much, much lower because they did end up with 3 of their 5 main albums there, topping out at number 1. So this was clearly much, much further down on the ledger there.
But they knew it was the hit. They believed in it to be the lead introductory song, even putting it ahead of the rest of the album collection of songs. They were right, dude. This song, I can't even wait any longer. Let's play the song. This is Sugar by System of a Down.
Booger Sugar on the Polymuse podcast.
Oh, it gives me shivers. Makes me want to be in a mosh pit. Makes me just, bro, Sugar though. Oh my God. Yeah. This is a favorite song. So, just strap yourselves in, because this is going to be, we're just going to be talking the praises of the sugar.
The praises of the sugar. This is, again, one of the first songs that I ever listened to by System of a Down.
Yep.
So this has very much been in my head for almost 20 years.
Just stuck constantly in your head for 20 years?
Stuck constantly in my head for 20 years, which is ironic because, kind of devolves into a guy kind of losing his mind at the end. Which, let's dig into the elements here.
Again, multiple different sections.
Yep.
Multiple different rhythms. It's a story. It's another storytelling thing. There's a lot of songs that are not stories. There's a lot of songs that it's just like, oh baby, I love you. It's an idea, it's a concept, but it's not a chain of events. And it takes another skill level of writing to be a storyteller with your songwriting. That first track certainly had that element. The first track on the album, Sweet Pea, Sugar definitely has, it's a story. It's about a guy, and if you follow the progression through, he gets crazier or angrier. And, I mean, is this song about cocaine? Like, is it just about, like, sugar, like the drug of him? Is this just the progression of, I'm trying to know if there's a deeper meaning in it or what, but it's kind of just the different moods of, like, a drug addict, right?
Well, someone who's just kind of losing sanity. So let's start with the music video opens up with a guy getting arrested for what's probably bioterrorism, and he's getting interrogated throughout the music video. We start with a news report, move to the guys, the folks, the band in costumes with the backdrop of the American flag, and then we get different footage spliced in, military footage, riots, different, chaos going on in the background. And as we progress through the song and the lyrics, we actually get those different things being acted out, different people singing along with the lyrics, and we get different pieces that do suggest someone on drugs, and Sugar very much referencing being on drugs and, kind of your family praying that you kind of pull through and get off and, you aren't insane, that you're on something that's making you crazy. So that's very much the running theme here, although it may not be directly referenced, but that's very much, the writing style here for System of a Down.
So that first section, it's that da-da-da-da-da-da-da, the heavy riff, terrific mosh pit riff. Like, you just want to be, like, pumping your arms at the elbows and running around and crashing into people. Like, that riff is menacing, catchy. I do believe that System of a Down frequently, if not always, I believe it's that they always save Sugar for, like, the very last song of the set. Like, even to this day, when they've written a lot of other bangers and a lot of other, like, get up and jump party type of riffs, and you can play Sugar for like 10 minutes. Like, you can just it's a vamp, it's a riff. So that's the kombucha mushroom people sitting around all day part. Pretty, I mean, kombucha mushroom, it could be drug reference, mushrooms reference, people sitting around all day taking drugs, essentially, is what I take from that.
Yeah, so kombucha tea is supposed to be kind of a relaxing thing, you possibly sitting around being lazy. I believe it takes sugar to ferment that tea, but it's just a reference to you kind of sitting around being lazy and let your mother pray for you kind of figuring it out, and sugar being the reference that you're on something, you're tripping, you're high, whatever it is.
Then you got the secondary, the verse section, where it's like that jazzy, and you got Serge, being the main character. You got Darren doing the sugars, basically. The two of them kind of playing just the little different voices, stabbing in and out. He's crazy. He plays Russian roulette every day.
That could very much be the drug reference.
The drug itself, of course.
Yep, and every time I try to go where I really want to be could also be referencing taking the drug.
It's already where I am.
Yeah, yep.
All he wants to do is be high.
Yep.
So, like, once he scores, then he's just happy again because he's content. Very easy to interpret it that way.
Yes, you could certainly. You have different interpretations. That's cool. Love to hear him, actually. And then in the verse 2, we get the reference to I Got a Gun the Other Day from Sako, which is both a friend of theirs that I understand and also a gun maker. So there's actually double wordplay on that line there. So that's kind of cool. But just someone who's devolving and how easy it is to get a hold of something that can make you violent, and someone who's deteriorating mentally as they're storytelling through this track here.
Abuses his girlfriend, and that's about it. Thinks that people are sucking out his brain. Seems to progress, though. If he's buying guns, if he's kicking people, getting a little crazier. You go back to the huge riff for the chorus, then this outro is just insane.
Yeah,
this is where the marbles hit the meat post.
Well, that's what's so great about being able to write in and then perform. The marbles hit the meat post.
I was trying to say when the hits the fan, and then I realized that it was like obscene. So then I was like, this is where he loses his marbles instead. I said this is where the marbles hit the meat. We should have been able to ignore that. That would have been way better. All right.
The marbles hit the meat post?
You're like, yeah.
I'm just going to cut in right
but
there.
You ignored me.
Yeah, I
on
did.
The record already.
All right. So anyways, basically the instrumental matches what's happening lyrically, and as the protagonist breaks down, so does the instrumental, and we just kind of get this wacky, crazy ending to the whole track as he's mentally deteriorating. And the same thing kind of happens in the music video. He's getting interrogated by the FBI, and that's the great ending to the whole piece there. And that's just an awesome thing to see in a song, to be able to echo the whole sentiment through the whole piece as someone who's just kind of getting high on drugs. And again, we open the song with the chorus, which is something System of a Down does sometimes, not with a verse, to slowly see this guy deteriorate. And it's good writing and good instrumental to go all the way around the whole thing.
The lyrics on this are nuts. I remember knowing this one. I guess, how old were we when this came out? 1998 is when this album came out, but we didn't know until more 2000, 2001. So we're like 10 years old.
Roughly.
11 years old.
11, 12, yeah.
I remember, the point I'm trying to make, being afraid of System of a Down.
Right.
I heard this stuff, and I was like, these people are actually out of their minds. This is like completely just like psychotic music. Now I love it. Everything that I had that reaction to as a kid is all the stuff that I love now. Anything that I was initially was so alien to me to seem like mental illness or whatever, became stuff I was fascinated by.
Right.
As I went through my rock and roll years of whatever. But anyway, yeah. So, but this is the weird stuff on here. It's like he whispers, "I killed everyone," sitting alone in my desperate room. All this stuff. It's stuff like this where it's the true insanity of the System of a Down coming across. Cool character thing. It's Serge is always playing so thematically, and so he's a present. He presents it, dude. He's like the front man, but he does different voices, different volumes constantly. He's always able to really just kind of hit you in the face with whatever the lyrics are. And that bit at the end, the cool outro section on here is just so creepy and so cool.
Yeah. You want a fun fact?
Hit me.
Since this was 1998, you want to know what fun drug was also introduced?
Hit me.
Viagra in 1998 was approved by the FDA. It's kind of out of left field, but kind of a fun little fact for you.
Now that's where the marbles hit the meat post. What does that have to do with this record?
They
both came out in 1998.
No, they both came out in 1998.
Just for, yeah.
Yeah, just per perspective.
Maybe this is about Viagra.
Could be.
Sugar.
That can drive you crazy.
If you take too much of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a different era, 1998. The cutting edge advances in technology that we were used to. So we got cutting edge drugs, cutting edge science, cutting edge alternative metal music. Terrific artists. And the fact that this did play on the radio and was somewhat successful is cool. The fact that it became a staple of their live set is awesome. It's like a whole piece of music. It's short, but it takes you on such a journey from so many different rhythms and styles that it feels like a 7-minute song or something, like one of these other songs where it's just like an epic narrative. It's like that kind of a song in a condensed punk rock form.
I think this was the right track to pick as a single, as a lead-off, to kind of give you a taste of what they were like from a number of different perspectives, instrumentally, vocally. This, for the first time, the first track you heard, new band coming out, here's their new single, and it's just this deterioration of a human being in song form. Mm-hmm. That's pretty wild.
Right.
So I think they picked the right track here on one of the, because drugs and deterioration of society on a number of different things, but drugs being one of them, and that's killing us off, is certainly one of their platforms. So I think this was absolutely one of the right singles to drop ahead of time. It still stands up as a great piece and a great spin today.
Should we rank the song for the dear audience?
What is your grade for Sugar?
This was the easiest S I've ever given. As soon as we said we were going to do System of a Down, I immediately thought of this song. I love this song. It will always stand apart from the rest of the catalog as just a perfect piece of songwriting from them. Perfect piece of stagecraft from them, storytelling from them. Song starts with an S. It's S for Sugar. It's the easiest S I ever gave. First S I considered for the project, and it's going to be track 1 on my mixtape.
Ooh, track number 1 on your mixtape. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm bumping this up to an S. This was an A+ for me. It was teetering on the edge of an S. Most of these grades were locked in for me. I had maybe half a dozen on all the projects that were a little on the edge for me, but I am going to lock this in after discussing it with you as an S. So here we go. Sugar on the System of a Down debut album, self-titled, an S-level grade for both myself and the Cuz Ben here on Polymuse.
Holy cow, we did it, guys. Double S rankings. So that's 2. You gave an S to Sweet Pea, track 1.
Correct.
Now we gave an S to Sugar. So we'll see which of there's 5 main System of a Down studio albums. We'll see which album has the most entries into the mixtape. That might be interesting to see, but I do think it's interesting that we have 2 of what we consider the very top tier songs right in the first few tracks of the first album. So we'll see what other treats they have in store for us as we keep going. A lot of other amazing songs. Another terrific song coming up next called Suggestions. We're doing that on our very next episode. Please follow us. Check us out on all the media platforms.
Yeah, let us know what your favorite tracks are. If this was one of them, if you like Sugar, the musical track, probably. Just let us know. I'm Michael.
My name's Ben.
We're the cousins that you always wanted, and this is Polymuse.
Never knew you had. Now you do. And that was the end of this episode. And now we will bring you the beginning of a different episode. Good night. I love you.
And that's how the marbles hit the meat stick.
Oh no.